I just built this AI agent system that recreated for me this entire TikTok content business. And when you look closer, one of their videos made 127 million views, along with other videos that are making millions of views. And for this case, I've used n8n to automate the entire process, without writing a single line of code. Because let me show you something, this profile that gets millions of views publishes anime wallpapers, and the process is pretty straightforward. We can use this entire TikTok AI system to generate for us these wallpapers and publish them straight to the TikTok. And another point is this profile gained 579,000 followers with almost 13 million likes. Also, an amazing fact is that this automation that creates these arts you can see right now runs every day without us doing anything. And in this video, I will show you how to build it step by step. Even if you don't know how to use n8n, I will show you that and you will be able to create this entire project. So right now you can see our free agents create for us the content that later we use to generate images with the latest ChatGPT image generation model. And after it's done, the content is published straightforward to the TikTok. So this is the video that was created right now. And there, as you can see, we've got our illustrations and there our music, our description and everything we need. Also yesterday, for an example, I published another post and it gained 300 views. And there we've got different music, different captions, and again, this entire system is automatical. When you create it, then you do just anything and it creates for you the posts every day. If you don't know what is happening right now, n8n is an automation tool and we'll be using that in this video that is very similar to Zapier or Make.com that allows us to make powerful automations. So it's great to actually invest and watch this video to the end because this skill actually will pay off in the future when you will learn it. Also, this video is beginner friendly. I will explain everything step by step, and again, n8n has gained a lot of popularity. If you learn it, you have the skill for a lifetime. Also, if you watch this video to the end, I will give you a strategy that will boost your content instantly and will allow you to get a lot of more views. But before we get started, if you don't know me, my name is Krystian Wojtarowicz. I run AI Agents Accelerator. Inside we've got 17 hours n8n course. So if you wish to learn n8n from scratch, join our community. We've got plus 50 exclusive resources, 110 AI Agents templates. Also here in the classroom, you can find our YouTube resource. So TikTok Video Machine. We'll be using all of these prompts in this video, all of the content, so I put everything together for you to make it easier, alright? And here again, you've got a lot of different resources. When you go over there, you've got other YouTube resources. Then when you go over to our classroom, you've got our beginner to pro course, AI Agents templates, Make templates, and a lot of more. So I will put the link in the description of this video, and with all that being said, let's dive in building this automation. So first things first, to begin with, to create this project, you need to open n8n.io. The link will be in the resources of this material. And here you just need to set up your account or even sign in if you have already one. Then we can just click on this plus to create the workflow, or even click here on create the workflow right away. And here this is a space where we'll be working. Additionally, I need to mention inside our community, you've got here the JSON file. So we can download this entire JSON file. And here inside our n8n, you can simply click on these three dots, click import from file, and there just import our TikTok machine. And it's already set up, you need to only connect your credentials. So by this way, right away, you've got this entire system ready to work. So instead of just setting it up step by step with me, you can just have it already done, inside our community. But as I said, we'll build everything step by step in this material. So firstly, we want to start with the trigger. So we indicate whenever we would like to trigger this entire automation. And there I pick on a schedule. So I would like to trigger this automation every day at a specific hour. For me, it will be the midnight. It's pretty nice, we can just leave it. So again, it triggers every day at midnight. Then right away, we want to go ahead with AI agent. So in general, we want to create firstly the style for our artworks. And here, what we can do, firstly, we can execute previous nodes. If you are not familiar actually with n8n, at the left side, we've got the inputs. In the middle, we set our node. And at the right side, we've got our outputs that was generated with this exact node. So for an example, this AI agent. So as you can see, we've got here the inputs. And now what we can do, we can click on define below, and there will be providing prompt and system message for the agent that will create for us the style. Even we can firstly rename it, so create style. And now we need to provide our prompt. We can go over to our community and scroll up, and there we'll have everything. So we have our system message. Let's simply copy it from here. It's quite wide, as you can see. So there, what we can do, we can add the system message, all right? Let's just paste it, and now let me show you what it does. Let's click here. So in general, we define that we would like to get the anime characters. So actually, we are using the Think tool also, which is the extension to our AI agent. However, I will explain you everything later. However, here what we have. You're a professional visual style generator for AI image creation. Your task is to create compelling visual prompts for live AI wallpapers centered around the target style. So here we've got our style, which is anime characters. You do not describe the characters themselves. Your focus is entirely on the artistic direction. Here, actually, you can see we've got each time you're called. Randomly select one style from given list of 4D styles below. So here I provided 4D styles. You can just, go over to our community, just copy that. There. If the chosen style is generate your own, create a unique original visual art direction not listed below. Because at the end, as you can see, we've got generate your own, invent a new original visual style not in the list. So it's pretty cool, okay? Here we've got the form, so each output must include title, caption, style. Also, we add the following explicit metadata, so this is the character placement, character size, character facing, dimensionality, art profile, and a lot of more, okay? So also, additionally, we've got the output format, so this is the format we want to get. For now, you can stop the video. You can go over to our community, read all of these instructions. However, I don't want to actually spend a lot of time on that, all right? Just here with this AI agent, we'll be creating the entire style, okay? So we gave the system message, and these are kind of built-in instructions inside this AI agent. So this model, so it bases every time on this system message, so these instructions. However, also we've got a prompt. And the prompt actually is what we say to the chatbot. As for an example, ChatGPT, we say, all right, hey, create for me something, I don't know, maybe give me an article. So here we just define what we would like to get. And inside our community, you can see, actually we want to get only a visual style. So generate a visual style, and that's pretty it. When we provide our prompt and our system message, we can click on test step. However, if we do this, you can see we've got an error because we need to add the chat model. We need to connect our AI agent to some model. So let's click on back to canvas. And here, firstly, we need to add the chat model. And I will be using OpenAI chat model, okay? There, you need to connect your credential. So in general, what you can do, you can go over to OpenAI here API. So you've got OpenAI platform. Let's click here. Actually not here. Let's click here. And there, you should have your dashboard. You should have your account. So you can create your API keys right there. So click on create new secret key, and there give it a name. So for an example, n8n testing, and there just create secret key. So as you can see, when I do this, I've got my key. I can copy it. What you can do next, you can go over here, create new credential, and there provide your API key, and it should work. For this case, I will be using the model, which is GPT-4o Mini. I can say it's pretty enough, it's really cheap, so you can use it. And by this way, we connected our OpenAI chat model. Additionally, we'll be using a tool which is called ThinkNote. It allows our AI agent to think, to actually refine its actions, to think about what this AI agent done. So then it just rethinks our entire prompt and it gives us the final version. I hope it makes sense, okay? However, it's a great actually habit to include ThinkNote inside our AI agents. And at the end, we need to add another different extension, which is our output parser. So here we just click on require specific output format. And there, as you can see, we can add our parser. So we can click on structured output parser, and there what we do, we define the exact format we wanna get from this AI agent. So if you go over to our community, you scroll down, you've got output parser, you can just copy it. Inside, as you can see, we've got a title, caption, style, character placement, and a lot of more, okay? So just paste it here. And when you do this, just simply click on the run, on this button to run this AI agent. So as you can see, think node works, and then it created for us the response, and we have title, eternal dreamscape, step into a surreal world where dreams meet reality. Here we've got also, so this is the caption for the TikTok video. This is the style we'll be using. This is the description for the character. It's pretty nice. Next, what we can do, we can add another AI agent that will generate for us 3 different characters. In general, what we can do, you can click on control, click on this AI agent, also hold the control and there click on these other elements, click on Control D to actually duplicate it, okay? So we are using again the agent and we'll be using also these 3 extensions. So now I can go over ahead and connect these 2 nodes and now rename it as generate 3 characters, okay? And again, we'll be using the prompt and system message. So inside our community, let's copy the prompt. Let's copy here the prompt, let's paste it there. And what we have inside, generate a 3 random niche characters with clothing and color details using the inclusion list. Let's go over to system message and I will show you what we have inside. Let's simply copy it. Inside our system message, what we have? We've got the niche, which is anime character. You're an expert character selector and descriptor for AI image generation. Your task is to help select characters from the anime niche and describe their clothing and color palette. So we've got inclusion list. So for an example, we've got Goku from Dragon Ball. We've got actually here, let's say what we have. We've got Nami One Piece. We've got, I don't know, Naruto Uzumaki. We've got, I don't know, Naruto Uzumaki from Naruto. So in general, what we do, we just pick 3 characters here. So pick any 3 numbers from 1 to 60, I'm sorry. So here we've got 60 ideas. Match them to the characters in the list below. These 3 are your selected characters for this session. Alright, so it's pretty straightforward, it's pretty decent. And in general, also at the end, we've got the output format we need to follow, okay? So again, you can stop the video. I don't want to waste your time actually to read it all. However, I created for you these instructions, okay? Now what we can do, we can go back and again, we can go over to our OpenAI model. We've got it already connected, so GPT-4o Mini. Then what we do, we've got our think node. We don't need to change that. However, output parser must be different because this actually, output must be different than previous one. Here we created the style and there we generate 3 characters. If you go over to our community, you've got output parser created. So we've got, for an example, name, origin, clothing, color, scheme. Let's paste it, actually copy it from here. Let's paste it there and in general, run this entire agent. And you will see actually the output is the same as the output parser, okay? So let's wait a while. It takes several seconds, up to 1 minute. That depends from the complexity of your prompt, remember? And there, just look on that. We've got the name. So Nina Einstein, code glass, which is the origin, clothing, color scheme. And there the output parser is pretty the same. So look, name, here, origin, clothing, okay? And color scheme. So that's why we indicate, okay, create for me, like stick to this entire output, to this entire format. This is pretty nice. So far I can say we've got our 2 agents, which is really important, okay? And then what we do, we add our 3rd agent. So here we can just again copy this entire agent, paste it here. And now this agent will be to create our final prompt to use, all right? So in general, again, we go over to the prompt, system message, and inside our community, I organize everything here, okay? So in general, it's much easier to copy that from here. I organize everything. Also, we've got instructions how to set up, for example, HTTP request we'll be using. So this is very valuable information. We've got a lot of resources inside our community, so feel free to join. However, again, I put everything there about this automation. So we've got our create final prompt AI agent. We've got the prompt, we can just copy it, and I will show you what we have inside. So create 3 random niche characters. So we provide here the niche, and this is our anime with clothing and color details using the inclusion list. So again, we've got the inclusion list. So actually, let me show you here what we have. Let's go overhead here and yeah, just copy this entire system message. And there, for the beginning, actually, when you see it, it can be complicated. So we've got these variables, and these variables change every time we've got other data, every time we run this entire project, all right? So we've got style description, character placement, character size, and so on. So it may look pretty overwhelming for the beginner if you look at it, if you're especially a beginner. However, here at the right side, we've got the result. So actually what we did, we mapped these fields from here. So for an example, let me show you. We've got our agent to create the style. What I've done, I've taken the style from here and I dragged this variable right there. And you can see it's the same actually. And by this way, we've got the content. Again, for the character placement, I went here, I dragged this variable, place here. For the character size, I've done it here, okay? So it's pretty straightforward. Now let me click Ctrl Z to undo my action. However, you know, you've got this prompt, you can copy it from our community. So again, what we have, style, character placement, all of the details. So about the style, we've got characters input. So these are the characters we created with this, actually, let me show you, with this AI agent. So generate 3 characters. And then, let me see, we've got also the prompt requirements. So for each prompt, begin with the phrase, character name from origin, integrate their clothing and color scheme, apply all provided style inputs, describe the scene vividly to match the cinematic tone and setting. So in general, it looks like this, it works. So when I go over here, also, it's very important. I almost forgot about changing the output parser. The output parser is different for different AI agents. So for example, here, we want to get 3 different prompts. We'll have 3 different images, so 3 different prompts. Okay, let's click on, let's copy that. Let's go over here to our output parser and just paste it. And now in general, what we can do, we can test the step right there. Also, I need to change the name of it. So what's the name of that? Let's go over here. Actually, I recommend you to pick the names as we have here. Otherwise, you can get into some errors, into some problems, because it also matters. Let me actually show you why. So for an example, we've got our 3 prompts. However, let me show you the following thing. Let's say that this name of this AI agent is different. For an example, create style 1. And then just look what happens. Here, when I open this agent, like these fields are highlighted in red. That means it doesn't match, it doesn't match our variables. So what we need to do for this case, in general, we need to change the create style. So we need to rename it, and that's how it works. So when we open it again, like everything is mapped inside here. So pay in mind that you need to also of course, you can provide other names for your agents, for your nodes. However, for the simplicity, for following this entire tutorial, because this automation is not the easiest automation to create, and just follow, my instructions, and then you can just feel free to experiment with that, change the names, for an example, add a new node, and so on. Nevertheless, the main point is, what we have, we've got our prompts for our characters. So everything already set up. So now in general, what we can do, we can go over to the further steps. However, before we do this, let me go ahead to my automation that is already set up on other screen and copy the sticky notes. So in general, here you see how it looks like, how we work. So let me organize it very quickly. So as you can notice there, the part about creating the prompts is ready. And we need to go ahead to the part to generate images. So what I can do, I can click on this plus and drag and drop my actually, node right there. So I say, all right, here, provide for me the next node, which will be the code, because we want to merge everything together. So actually this, here, let me look on that. We've got our one item. However, we've got this prompt separated. We want to have that inside one variable we can use later. So for this case, we've got the JavaScript code. And a lot of you may think, all right, no, please, no, it's coding. However, don't worry, I've got for you the solution actually. So here, JSON code list. And what it does, it takes, our variables from the previous MA agent, and it combines everything together. So in general, also we can name it as the list, rename it, and then test the step. So as a result, we have one output and 3 items. So we've got 3 different prompts, however, everything, combined at once. Then what we do, we need to set up our HTTP request. So we'll be using ChatGPT image generation model to generate for us images. And here, what we can do, we can go over to our community and you've got everything explained. So we've got the method, which is post. We've got the URL we need to copy. So let's copy it. Okay. We need to copy this URL, paste it here. All right. We need to change the method, which is post. And now choose the authentication. And here you can read predefined credential type, OpenAI. So here predefined, we can search for OpenAI. And here we've just got our OpenAI account we've connected previously. So we can just copy it. Then what we do, we send the body. Here we specify using JSON. And in general, we just copy this entire, JSON code. So when we go over to n8n, we paste it, what we have inside. Model, which we are using, so GPT image 1, the prompt, so generate a high quality image with this prompt, and we give a variable, okay? So it will run 3 times. As you can see, we've got 3 items. And for each time, it will take like different prompt, okay? Because we've got 3 images. We specify the size, which is for the TikTok, quality high, moderation low, format, also, the background. So the opaque is opposite to the transparent, so it's not transparent. Here, output compression. So overall, also, when you go over to API, create image, actually OpenAI, create image, when you type it. So when we click on the OpenAI image generation guide, there you've got all of the data. So you can just click here on image API, and you should have all of the information. For an example, you've got there the model, actually, like this entire JSON code you can copy and paste. However, we've got some additional elements. Nevertheless, for the background, you can see you've got different values: transparent, opaque, or auto, okay? For the model, you can use DALL-E 2, DALL-E 3, GPT image 1 that we are using right now, so GPT image 1. There, for the moderation, you've got different moderation. And for the quality, also, you've got a different quality for the size. So you can specify maybe you would like to have the square. I don't know, maybe something really wide. So the choice is yours. However, you've got actually everything here. So I provided it for you. And for this case, we can click. Actually, firstly, we can rename it. So we can rename it as generate images. Click on rename. And now we can test this step and see if that works. So yeah. It's executing the node, so for sure it works. And for this case, actually it will take a few minutes. And now let me show you something. Because also it's important to know the costs of generating images. And here, actually for the high quality that we are using, we pay 17 cents per image. So per one creation, we pay actually 51 cents. Which is not that much, I can say. Actually, we are publishing the TikTok and we are publishing it daily. However, be aware of this entire cost. With the medium quality, you've got 4 cents, so it's 4 times lower. And with the low quality, you pay 1 cent, okay? So it's important. I wanted to show you that because actually, it's important to measure costs. You can create even sometimes automations that does everything for you. However, the cost is pretty high. You're using, for an example, 3 different applications, 4 applications, and every application comes with their pricing, their credits, and so on. So it's pretty important. I can say this automation is pretty cheap. Okay, so you pay 51 cents for that. Also, later we'll be using other applications. However, you've got free trial. So yeah, it's pretty decent. For now, we can come back there. And now I can show you what we have. We've got our free items in the B64 format. So now what we can do, we need to just take this format and convert it to file. All right, so we are using the node which is convert to file. There we pick move base 64 string to file, and we just put this variable, so from generate images, okay? We test the step and we should get 3 images, all right? We can view them right here. So it's pretty nice, all right? It's pretty cool. The next image, this is cool. And the last image, very, very nice. And we'll be publishing all of that on our TikTok. So now we can back to file and there back to canvas. The next step, I can say actually the most important steps we have already created. So there are 3 agents that were complex for sure. There the node to map everything together, generate images, convert to file. And now we've got actually I can say 5 last steps for that automation. So we need to go over, take this file, and we need to create an URL from that. Okay. For this case, we can create another HTTP request. And we'll be using actually an application which is called Cloudinary to take our files and get from them the URLs. Okay, so in general, when you go over to the community here, where do we have that? All right, we've got it there. So get image URL. We've got the method post. So here we choose the post. We've got the URL. So there we just choose it. So it's simple as that. And there, what's very important actually, you've got this URL. However, here you've got your cloud name. You need to go over to Cloudinary API. Click here. So upload actually our API reference. You can sign up for free. So here, just sign up with your Google account. And after you do this, you need to go over here to your settings. And right there, you should have your API keys, all right? And the cloud name. So overall, you can just copy your cloud name, all right? You can paste it here, right there, and yeah, it should work. The next step will be to actually send the body. So let's click on enabled, and there choose the form, which is form data. Inside the form data, what do we have? We've got the n8n binary file, and the data. And there we've got the form data, upload preset, and your preset name. All right. So in general, what we can do, we can go over here. And here, actually, we can choose the parameter type. So we've got the name, which is file, and the input data field name, which is the data, because we map this entire content. So here we've got the name, which is data. We can add another parameter, which is for now form data. And now we can go over here. We need to just copy that and there provide upload preset. And for the value, we need to go back to our Cloudinary right there and click inside the settings on upload and add upload preset. So right there, we can name it as, for an example, n8n, I don't know, test. Here on the signing mode, click unsigned. And there we can just click on save, all right? Just click on save there. And in general, we need to provide this name. So n8n testing. Let's provide it here. And with all that being said, we can even rename it as get image URL, click on rename, and there test the step. So let's see if that works. And after you do this, you should get 3 items, and there are the links for them. It's pretty cool, all right? So we've got our URL from the files. And there also I need to mention with this application, you've got 3 credits. So when you go over to your plan details, you can see you've got your credits. I already used only 0.15 credits. We've got 25, so it's totally free. Actually, you can use it. However, for now, let's add the step to store our URLs. And for what to do this actually? Because like platforms like Facebook, like Instagram, like TikTok are very sensitive and restrictive when it comes to uploading the videos here. So we need to have the specified platform that, is allowed to do this. And for that, we'll be using Blotato. So in general, you can go over to Blotato. Here, just type it. I will put the link in the description of this video. So even by clicking on this link, you help me. So feel free to do this or not. It's your choice. However, when you do this, you can click on Start Creating. And there you can start your free trial, which is totally for free. You can start your free trial, okay? You won't pay anything. And when you do this, actually, you get your API dashboard. So you get your API key here. However, for now, let's go back to our community and see how we can set it up. So we've got the URL, we've got the method, which is post, okay? And there we've got the generic credential types, header, authentication, and there we need to connect our Blotato. So we can create new credential, and there we need to provide our value. So inside we need to provide our API key, and there we can go back to the Blotato, click on the settings, and here, actually we can scroll down and we can copy our API key. So I can copy it, I can paste it there, and now actually name it as the Blotato API key. Okay, you need to exactly like type this name because it's predefined by the Blotato. So otherwise, it won't work. So you can click on save. All right, and by this way you connected your credential. So I've got my credential connected. And then what I can do, I can actually send body. And here we've got the body, which is JSON. So we'll be using specified fields. So I can send the body. I can use specify fields. And now let's see, we've got the URL and we need to provide the JSON URL. So I've got the URL and here I can go over there and we need to provide our URL. So for this case, what we can do? We can go over ahead to our step, which is get image URL and drag and drop our URL. Also, you've got here inside our community, this entire value. So if you just paste it there, it works. And even we can just rename it as the upload to Blotato. We can rename it and we can test the step. So let's see. So we should get our free URLs, and from this platform, let me show you. From this platform, we'll be able to, log in with TikTok, with Instagram, Threads, and Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn. So it allows us actually to, publish our content. The next step, actually we are very, very close to the end. So this project is pretty complex. However, I hope you're enjoying it so far. So leave a like and give a subscribe button to me, actually, if you like the content. However, for now, what we can do, we can provide the JSON code. And in general, let's go over here. So what we do, we map all of the actually elements and we get, this inside with the one item. So we return only a single object containing the array of URLs. So there, just without further speaking, let's test it. And we'll get actually one item with 3 different, URLs for the images. Because we'll be using that to actually store the data inside Google Sheets and additionally publish on TikTok. We can even rename it as combine. So let's rename it. And now we've got our step for generating images, created. And there are 2 steps left. So here we've got our Google Sheets. And this is the good practice actually to store, our links for the content. So we click on append row and sheet. And now we need to connect our Google Sheets. When you go ahead to our community and you click on store data Google Sheets, I prepared for you actually here the template. So in general, also there we've got some content. However, I prepared for you the template and there we've got the title, captions, image 1, image 2, image 3, and the date. So you can just simply, copy this entire template, click here to make a copy and use it. However, for now, let's set it up. So there, I will be using my Blotato. So here, store Blotato URLs template, sheet, so sheet 1. and there we'll be mapping, our data. So first things first, we've got a title, captions, and date. For this case, we can just scroll down and there just go overhead to our first agent. So here we've got a title, we've got the caption, and there also we've got actually our image 1, image 2, image 3, and a date. Firstly, let's pick the date, which can be this one, so readable date, and also image URLs. Now even you can ask, all right, but why do you have like these variables highlighted in red? And let me explain. We've got different items. We've got here 3 items. Okay, so in the title, in the captions, and in the date, because we created 3 different items, 3 different images. And the platform, so n8n doesn't know which one actually you wanna get. Firstly, like which to choose. For this case, we are using the extension which is first. And there we indicate, all right, take the first one, then take the second one, take the third, okay? You can see this problem when you have multiple items, in your automation. Then you just need to provide the first, and it works perfectly, okay? So again, first, and this is the good practice, okay? We can rename it, store data, and now you will be able to see that it will be stored inside there. So let's wait a while. So Eternal, Dreamscape, step into a serial world where dreams and a lot of more. You can click on that and see, okay, we've got image 1. I can click here and it's stored inside our Google Sheets. And the last step for this project is to publish that on TikTok. So we provide HTTP requests and we are not connecting to the TikTok, however, to the Blotato. So when I go over there, I've got publish on TikTok. So even let me pick the name, publish on TikTok. I've got the URL, which is different than previous, which is blotato.com v2 posts. Let's go over here, change the method to post. And what we need to do next, again, we need to connect our credentials and there provide the specified JSON code. So let's go over here. Here, send the body using JSON code and just take this JSON code. And what is very important, actually, it's pretty crucial. Inside what you have, you've got your text you need to be published from the first agent. You've got your images we want to take. Also, what we do, we specify that we want to have automatical music. So the music will be taken for us, okay? It will be matched inside our automation. We've got target type TikTok, a brand false, like public to everyone, okay? And what's pretty crucial, we've got our account ID. And this account ID, what you need to do, how to achieve it, how to get it, extract it, okay? You go over here to the Blotato. Actually, I've got connected account, and however, I will disconnect it. So I can log in with TikTok. And here, when I do this, I will need to authorize myself with TikTok, okay? And afterwards, you can copy account ID here and just go over there. Let's say you've got some random numbers, you take it and you paste it right there, okay? So account ID. Of course, later I will delete it so you can't access my TikTok. However, you know, I showed you how it works. And I can say that's pretty it, okay? Finally, we created this automation. Let's test the step. And now, all right, we've got, okay, we need to provide the authorization, of course. So generic authentication, and here pick the Blotato. Let's test the step and see if that performs well. I'm very excited. So we've got our post published. Let's go over to TikTok. So here, TikTok. Actually, as you can see, I'm on the TikTok and here I just search for pop videos and I created the automation on this channel that explains how to create these pop videos. It's also sophisticated automation, so you can go over check it out. However, for now, let's go over to the profile and there just look. Nice, very nice music. All right, so we've got here the entire title, description, and it's pretty nice, all right? So we created this entire system. And what's perfect, actually, you know, after you set it up, you can publish it on other platforms. Actually, you know, Facebook, LinkedIn, I don't know, maybe Pinterest. And it runs every day without you doing anything. And in general, you can see actually, let me leave it. And there, even, I published this entire video 59 minutes ago, and it received, here we've got the likes, it received 300 views. So that's how you create this entire system. Actually, remember to check out our AI Agents Accelerator. You've got here all of the instructions. You can download this entire template. Also, in general, here, let me scroll up. You've got other systems like YouTube videos posting system, passive income with stock images, daily news AI agent. You've got our n8n course. So feel free to check it out. For now, the price is $29. However, we increase the price, very soon. So yeah, feel free to check it out. Also, I need to mention at the beginning of the video, you saw actually, different platforms you can connect this automation to. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. So these are deactivated. However, you can do this very easily with the Blotato. So here, log in with Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, or even Pinterest. Also, I said that I will give you a strategy that will give you a lot of traffic in your TikTok account and actually will make your post even viral. And the strategy is to think of a specific niche. So for example, this automation is specified for the anime characters. However, remember, you can create any images you want. Like you've got endless possibilities. You can create, only change the prompt. So go over, for an example, to ChatGPT and type, okay, change this prompt for the beauty, maybe theme, maybe some technology. So in general, what I recommend you to do is to take some time to find some niche where actually the content is very popular, it's not that saturated, and just publish the content, all right? That's really it. And by this way, if you, for an example, find some small niche that is not crowded, not saturated, you get actually a lot of traffic. Remember, you can publish that on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, even Pinterest. So it's pretty nice. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, leave the like for the YouTube algorithm, click the subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video.